Hi, 8th grade. This is lesson 6 of module 7, the last lesson in module 7. Apply systems of equations. And the I can statement says, I can write and solve system of equations to solve a real world problem. So this is a really great lesson because it's giving you an idea how to use the information that you've been getting through this whole module and use it to solve a real world problem. So this is the Step It Out, which there's no build understanding, there's no spark your learning. So I would encourage you to pause the video here, read through this, and work through this step by step, A through E, and then come back and we'll work on it together. All right, so hopefully you attempted this on your own. Let's look at it together. Number 1, there are 12 people in an adventure club going to an adventure park. An adult's pass is $55, a child's pass is $42, and they spend a total of $569. How many adults and how many children go together to the park? What equation can you write to represent the number of adults A and children C that are in the group? So they tell you there are 12 people all together. And so they want to know what's an equation using variables that you could write to show that. So they tell you, let's look at this, that, or they actually give you the variables to use, adults A and children C. And so you just are going to say A plus C equals 12. That's the total number of people. How much is an adult's pass? So you're just looking at the information they give you, and they tell you that it's $55. How much is a child's pass? They tell you that it's $42. So this is just really kind of regurgitating the information they've given you. And what was the total spent? $569. So this isn't a waste of time. It's actually good to get this all organized and structured, looking at everything that you have. So what equation can you write using the variables and the numbers that you have to represent the total amount spent by the group? So we know that A, the adult pass, is $55. So we would use that as our coefficient for A, and then 42 as the coefficient for C, and then the total we know is 569. So that's just helping you see how that all fits together. So C, you can use the two equations from part A and B to write a system of equations to solve the problem. So now you're using what you learned in previous lessons. You have two different equations that you've written, A plus C equals 12, and 55A plus 42C equals 569. So solve the system of equations using elimination. So this time we're going to have to do it a little differently because you can see there are no coefficients that just naturally add up to 0. So we're going to have to create that. So that means what you want to do is multiply one of the equations by something that would help you eliminate one of the variables. One thing that's kind of nice about this is you can choose which variable, whatever seems easier for you, depending on the numbers that you have and the equations that you have. So I'm going to choose 42 because it's smaller than 55. So I'm going to choose to multiply this whole equation by negative 42. I don't want to multiply just by positive 42 because then adding those together would give me 84. So now I have negative 42a plus negative 42c equals negative 504. I did not do that in my head. Okay, so now I can put this other equation underneath here, 55a plus 42c equals 569. And you can kind of see that the numbers will get a little easier once we combine these two equations. So the difference between 42 and 55. This is negative 42 and positive 55. So that's going to be 13, and it's positive because the larger coefficient is positive. And so this is 0. So I have equals, oh, this is supposed to be negative up here, sorry, negative 504. So I have 65, positive 65. So I have 13a equals 65. And then if I divide both sides by 13, so this cancels, so I'm left with a equals 5. Sorry, a little bit off there. So a equals 5. And then now I can go back and I can use this equation, my original equation, and put my a as 5, and so my c has to be 7. So that tells me that there are 5 adults and 7 children. So that's the first part of the Step It Out. There's more, but using this, you should be able to do the rest on your own and then finish the rest of the lesson all together. So this is the end of module 7. This is actually lesson 6, end of lesson 6, but module 7. So we will see you in module 8.